Hello students, my name is Neha Nandakumar Bendre, Assistant Professor in Zoology at Red Shikshan Sanstha's R.B. Narayan Rao Borake College, Srirampur. Today here I am going to tell you about the ultrastructure of nucleus. In the previous lecture, we have focused on the introductory things on nucleus, that the structure of nucleus, the shape of nucleus, different types of nucleus. Okay, so here we are going to see the details of ultrastructure of nucleus. So as in the previous lecture I have told you that nucleus is heart of the cell. It is the administrative office of this cell where each and every activity are controlled by the nucleus. All the ideas or whatever the instructions are decided in the nucleus and then they are given to other organelles to perform different kind of functions. So we also can say it is a brain of cell. So as we know that it is a very important, prominent structure in the cell, let us look for the ultrastructure of the nucleus. So the nucleus, it is present in the cell. Okay, so it may be present at some location that I have told you in the previous lecture, that what are different locations in the cell. So it may be present at any one side or it may be scattered in the cytoplasm. Okay, but let us see the deep structure, the ultrastructure of the nucleus. The nucleus consists of four main parts. Okay, so these are the nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus and the chromosomes. Okay, so these are four components make the nucleus very prominent in their function. Okay, so in this, now let us see each and every part details. Okay, so if you talk about the nuclear membrane, so here the outer covering, that is, this is called as double layered membrane of the nucleus. In this membrane, okay, there is this membrane, double layered membrane. The outer layer is called as the outer membrane and the inner, which is facing to the nucleoplasm side, that is called as inner membrane, and the membrane which is facing at the cytoplasmic side of the cell, it is called as the outer membrane. In between this membrane there is a space present. Okay, that space is called as the periplasm or the perinuclear space. Okay, so this is what about the nuclear membrane. This membrane consists of different kind of many pores. Okay, these pores allows different kind of materials, that is export and import of different kind of material takes place into the nucleus. The materials which has to be exported from the nucleus are sent through these pores. Here you can see in this membrane there is a space in middle of which this membranes. So this space is called as nuclear pores, and this helps to allow transport of material from one place to another, from nucleus to cytoplasm or cytoplasm to nucleus. So that is transport of the import and export of different kind of materials. Okay, so in this way the nuclear membrane consisting of outer and inner membrane with nuclear pores present on it. So here, as we know that there is this double layered membrane helps the nucleus to protect from the cytoplasmic environment. Whatever different kind of actions, metabolic activities taking place or different kind of reaction taking place in the cytoplasm are protected from entering inside the nucleus. So why this nucleus is protected so much? Because it contains various different important parts in the nucleus, that is the chromosome. So later on we will move on to the chromosome, why it is so important. Okay, so after the nuclear membrane, let's move towards the next prominent part, that is nucleoplasm. So nucleoplasm is present inside the double layered membrane. Okay, so this is nothing but the gelatinous substance, or this is a semi-aqueous substance present all over the nucleus. So this semi-aqueous substance helps to act as a cushion to protect the inner environment of the nucleus. So it protects the nucleus from whatever stress, mechanical stress is taking place in the cell. The nucleus is protected due to the nucleoplasm. Okay, in this nucleoplasm there are different kind of enzymes, different kind of salt, that is organic, inorganic salts. Also it contains the most important structure that is called as chromosomes. Also along with the chromosome there is nucleolus structure. So we will discuss one by one different parts of this, but nucleoplasm consists of, which is a semi-aqueous material. It consists of ribosomes, chromosomes and nucleolus, along with different kind of enzymes for carrying out different activities. Also the organic and inorganic salts with DNA and RNA. Okay, so this all activities takes place in the nucleoplasm, okay, which is having same function as cytoplasm. Okay, which acts as the cushion. Okay, after nucleoplasm, let's move towards the nucleolus. So nucleolus, this is the structure called as nucleolus. Okay, so this is also a very important part in the nucleus, which is a dense body. Okay, it is a dense body and it doesn't contain any kind of membrane. So this is membrane-less body. Okay, so it is a dense structure. It is a membrane-less structure body, which is functioning as the production center of ribosomes. So whatever ribosomes are required by the cell for the protein synthesis are made or produced in this nucleolus. Okay, so they are called as the ribosomal factory, where ribosomes are synthesized in this center. Okay, along with this there are different kind of means here you can see only single nucleus, but according to different cell types or different kind of species, there may be 1 to 4 nucleoli according to the synthesizes or synthetic activity of the cell, depending upon the synthetic activity of the cell, but mostly there is only one nucleolus. Okay, now after nucleolus, okay, let's move on to the chromosomes. Chromosomes means, chroma means color and zomes means body. So these are called as color bodies. Why? Because when they are present in the cell, they are not appear in colored form, but when they are stained, they are appear, means these are the bodies that can be stained, that can be given color to observe under microscope. So these are called as chromosomes. So in this chromosome you can see that these are all the long entangled structure, longitudinal entangled structure, which is having super helical structure. Okay, they are intervened around each other, they are twisted around each other, forming a very super helical structure. And this kind of entangled structure means all these strands are entangled with each other. So this structure is called as chromosomes. In this chromosomes you can see a dark stained area while a delicate area. So this specifically, this dark area is called as heterochromatin. Heterochromatin. Chromatin means the chromosome, which are nothing but, why hetero? Because these are highly condensed region. These are highly condensed region, and so they are appearing as dark structures. When they are stained, whenever they are stained, they are appear as dark portions, and these dark portions are nothing but the heterochromatins, which are highly condensed, darkly stained, okay, dark, and these are transcriptionally inactive. Transcriptionally inactive means no products are formed or no proteins are formed from these regions, heterochromatin. Okay. Likewise, there is another region, okay, which is less dense. Okay, they are less dense, means when they are stained, they are not appearing as dark as the heterochromatins. They are stained very faint. Okay, and these are faint, or we can say at light color, and these are the transcriptionally active bodies. Most importantly, these are transcriptionally active. Okay, whenever the transcription takes place, whatever genes or after that any products are to be formed, they are formed from the this light and dense, less dense bodies, and these structures are called as euchromatin. Euchromatin. Okay, so this chromosome are divided into two types. This is called as heterochromatin and other one is called as euchromatin. Heterochromatins are darkly stained bodies which are highly condensed as they are packed close together. Okay, and as they are so tightly packed, so they appear, means there are no activation sites or there are no activators which can join over there and carry out the function of different genes, okay, and make them active. So it is called as transcriptionally inactive, which does not form any product. While on the other side, euchromatin means they are lightly stained, they are less dense and transcriptionally active bodies. Okay, so these all things are present in the chromosomes. Also, this kind of structure is this kind of entangled structure, longitudinal thread-like structure appears only in interphase phase of the cell division. Okay, later on these structures are forming different kind of structures at each phase, that is prophase, not in prophase, metaphase and anaphase. Okay, which give appearance like X shaped chromosomes, okay, and then this single shaped chromosomes, where inside the chromosome there is twisted structure or helical strands of DNA. Okay, so DNA and RNA structures are present in the chromosomes. Okay, so next we will move on to, here I have shown you the nuclear pores. Okay, so this structure is also a very special structure in the formation of nucleus. So these pores, these are having some octagonal cells surrounded, octagonal cells surrounded in the membrane. Okay, so these nuclear pores are looking like this when seeing this nuclear from far. So these are the cells. Okay, these are the nuclear pores where octagonal shape is given to that pores. The shape is like octagonal. Okay, so these octagonal shape, there are different kind of granules attached over there, circular granules. Okay, and inside there is a space which is allowed for the transport of materials so that they can move inside or outside, and this space is called as annulus. Okay, we will study in detail, more detail about the nuclear pore structures again, but here this structure, this circular structure is called as annulus, where it consists of different kind of pores, transporters to transport the molecules inside and outside. Okay, so this was all about the nuclear pores. Okay, so hope you have understood this ultra structure of nucleus. Again we will have a recap that it consists of four main structure, that is called as the nuclear membrane, that is the double layered membrane, okay, consisting of outer and inner membrane with a space in between is called as perinuclear space or periplasm. Along with this, it consists of nuclear pore, that is pores for allowing different kind of materials to import and export. Okay, then nuclear plasm, which is a semi-aqueous structure or semi-aqueous liquid material present inside the nucleus, in which there are presence of ribosomes, chromosomes and nucleolus structure. Okay, then we have a nucleolus, which are the synthesizers of ribosome, that is factories of producing ribosomes. Okay, and along with this we have a different kind of chromosome. In this chromosome structure we have studied about the heterochromatin and the euchromatin. So this was the structure of ultrastructure of nucleus, which is present in this cell, okay, scattered in the cytoplasm. So this is the location of the cell. Here I would like to tell, this double layer membrane is continuous with the other cell organelle that is called as endoplasmic reticulum. Here you can see that this membrane is found continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum, okay, where immediately after the production of ribosomes, they are sent to the endoplasmic reticulum. Also they can be connected with this double membrane of this nucleus with Golgi apparatus also. So this also forms connection with the endoplasmic and other organelles also. Okay, so hope this thing ultrastructure is clear with you. Now let's move on to the function of nucleus. Okay, so here as we know, as we have seen, that chromosome is present in the nucleus. So chromosome is the structure where hereditary information, genetic information of a particular organism is present in the chromosome on the DNA. Okay, so the nucleus is carrying that chromosome, and this help to give an identity to any different organism by transferring the hereditary character from one organism to another. So at the time of cell division, the nucleus, the nuclear membrane breaks, and the chromosome enters, or it is divided into two separate cells, and the two separate cells are, due to presence of nucleus and the chromosome, is given different identity, okay, to that cell. Okay, so this nucleus is the center that controls the hereditary characters information to transfer from one generation to another. The next function is the responsible for protein synthesis. As we have seen here, that the structure called as nucleolus is present inside the nucleus, where it is the production house of ribosomes. Okay, as you have seen here, this is the production, it also helps in the production of ribosomes. It is called as the factory of ribosomes. So because of that, it is responsible for protein synthesis function. Okay, then also it helps in the cell division, where it is helpful to carry out the cell division process and transfer the chromosome molecules from in between the two cells. Then it helps in the embryonic development. It helps to differentiate these cells by giving each cell a nuclear origin. Okay, and according to whenever they get that chromosome, then the further part of giving their identity or their cellular differentiation, that which part it has to be formed. So that differentiation in the embryonic development to form different parts in the body is due to the nucleus. So it helps a lot during the differentiation in embryonic development. Then we have discussed this due to the presence of nucleoli. The nucleus function as the production house of ribosomes to carry out protein synthesis. Okay, then exchange of materials. Here I have shown you the structure called as nuclear pores, where it helps to exchange the material from nucleus to cytoplasm, while cytoplasm to nucleus, to transport different kind of enzymes or salts, DNA, RNA, mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. So different kind of forms are useful to transfer from one place to other. Okay, so this nucleus helps a lot in the exchange of materials. Next is the support. Support means here you can see the double layered membrane, where it gives a definite structure, circular structure or rounded structure to the nucleus. Okay, and below this double layered membrane, there is presence of some laminins. There is presence of laminin structure that gives, which are the cytoskeletal structure that supports the double layered membrane from any mechanical stress. So this lamina helps to maintain the structure. So this is called as nuclear lamina. Also it carries, also it supports the cell structure by attaching or giving support to different kind of microtubules and microfilaments, which are the skeletal parts of the cell, which is called as the cytoskeleton. So it also supports with the help of nuclear lamina. These are all cytoskeletal elements, also microtubules and microfilaments. So with the help of this cytoskeleton, a support is given by nucleus to the cell, because all this cytoskeletal attaches to the nucleus and give a definite structure. Next is the genetic code. The last function is the genetic code, because the genetic code is present on the DNA. So this DNA provides a nucleotide structure which is used to carry out, which is used to give a genetic code, with the help of which the translation is carried out, and depending upon that code, different kind of products are formed, carrying out different kind of function and producing different kind of enzymes in our body. So it is a very important part that it carries a genetic code present on the chromosome. So these are the important functions of the nucleus that you have to remember very well. Also, this is the ultrastructure of nucleus and the components present in the nucleus. Hope you have understood the ultrastructure of nucleus. So thank you for watching.